Maybe she'll call in Friday.
Are we back up?
We are. We're back up. We're streaming. We're 6 seconds in. They should be seeing us.
Are we back up? Type F in the chat. Pay your respects.
F for back up.
F for back up. F you for Team Eric. Damn, I wonder when we burnt out. I wonder if they got to. And we are back.
We'll monitor it for a second.
We got Everett over there in the back monitoring the stream to make sure that, like it says, one watching now. Yay, there we go. I can't see her here. Talk about a ghost story. We're back, everyone. Everett's monitoring the stream over there again. Something's going on with the computer.
Yeah, we're going to give it just a minute before we start the show back up here. I want to make sure that
all right, he says we're giving just a minute before we start the show back up here. He's just
highly irregular.
Huh?
It's just highly irregular.
Yeah, Helen Keller, y'all.
I think I know what that means. It's a helpless feeling, isn't it?
It says live stream offline.
Seems to be working still in mine. Yeah.
Oh, I got it here. We are back.
Oh, I'm from the UK.
I'm going to give it another 30 seconds.
All right.
We'll start the show back up. We'll come back in. You'll, because for the podcast, you'll let everybody know that, sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty on the stream, et cetera. And we'll read through again the last paragraph of what your story was.
Gotcha.
So we can get back.
And Matt Brutnell, hello from the UK.
Yeah. He's on the team.
We'll give everybody
He's
just a
on
second
my
to
team.
reconnect.
You let me know when you're ready.
I want to know what's up with my camera. It keeps turning.
Uh-oh.
It's
By
never
itself?
ever did that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. Proof.
What are you going to do? That's pretty fucking spooky.
Ectoplasmic presence. His camera.
That story's spooky as shit, in my
opinion.
opinion.
The solid thing is what got me, though, a little bit.
Let's wait for the record. I don't want to let anybody miss out.
All right, so we ready?
And we're dropping frames. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Oh, by the way,
I
it's
only dropped
Amy.
a few. I'm keeping an eye on here.
It's a
see
woman?
if it gets going crazy.
Is that a woman? Wow. Amy.
You just, killed Armand right there. He's like, oh, it's a girl.
It's even better.
Oh, your name's Amy.
I have a woman on my team.
Wait a minute now. And
it's the UK. That's not very far.
It changes things.
By
I thought
jet,
you were MF.
I could be there in 6-8 hours.
I know you're Amy.
All right, so
Can't tell from that picture.
you dropped 118 frames, but it stopped dropping them. So I'm going to let it run. Let's keep an eye out here, and if we see it starting to drop again, sorry to everybody watching out there. We'll have to pause it and see if we can't troubleshoot it on the go. If we
I think
go.
Jordan's got something there.
Is your mic working? Can they hear you, Everett?
Should be able to.
Can you guys hear Everett? What he's saying right now?
Check. Yeah, they got me. They can hear me.
Damn straight.
All right, Jordan's
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
It's going to be a 3, 2, 1. We're coming back out. Ready? 3, 2.
And we apologize for the technical difficulties right there for everyone in the podcast. We had to pause it for a second. Our YouTube stream went down. We were dropping tons of frames.
You're still pretty, Amy.
And we are back now, though.
We are back.
I'm going to read the last paragraph over of that grandpa story.
Please do.
Just to make sure everyone got it. Okay, so recap. His dad was sick, or his grandpa was sick. They'd only been out there, about 4 to 6 times a year. It's like a 4-hour drive away. The last time he went out there, he freaked out because he knew his grandpa was sick. His grandpa told him, don't worry, I promise you I'll see you again. I promise. And grandpas always keep their promises. So we're at the end of the story right now. In the morning, my mom came into my bedroom, and as soon as she opened the door, I said, Grandpa died last night, but that's okay. I get to see him again one day. She was stunned as she was about to try to break the news to me and had been worried based on my outburst a month earlier. Throughout his funeral proceedings, I remember feeling that calm presence still there, and I couldn't understand why people were crying and upset. It did not make sense to me. I felt so comforted and reassured that everything was okay and that there was no reason to be sad because Grandpa would keep his promise. I'm now an adult and have lost other grandparents and family members. No other time in my life have I ever felt such a sense of peace and comfort as I did with my grandpa's death back then. I truly cannot explain it. As odd as it sounds, his death was the most peaceful and loving experience I've ever had.
Wow, that's both creepy and reassuring at the same time, isn't it?
It's crazy. To me, like I said, I caught the creepy at about an 8. But then once you start thinking about it, it's like, God damn, I hope it works like that.
Me too, dude.
But have you
You
guys
know what I mean?
haven't you ever? I mean, Marissa says
really
she has
hope
the
it
same
works like
story.
that.
I had a cousin that had the same. His mother died, and he told me he and his sister saw her. Now they didn't jump in while he was driving. He said he saw her in his car with him. So he was not young. I mean, he'd be in his 20s. And he said his sister said, in fact, his sister warned him, "Mom's going to come visit you."
Really?
She came to see me, and she told me she'd come visit you. And
Did it happen?
yeah, according to him. So, and then Marissa says she had the same experience. So this is not a unique experience. I was going to wonder if have you guys ever heard anybody you know? Nobody said the thing that got me was he jumped into his arms and he was solid. That was.
I'm kind of a dickhead, and if somebody started telling me that story in real life, I would probably start to tune them out pretty quick. I'm just a dick like that. I just instantly don't believe. I'm an asshole. I'm not going to lie. But sitting here like this in a third-party stance, it's a little bit easier to take it.
Because you don't know the hurt person because they hide behind a blanket of anonymity.
It helps because if I'm looking at Armand and he's trying to tell me the story, I'm like, "You're full of shit, Armand." I'm looking at you in the eye and I'm thinking you're full of shit. But it's a little different this way. Anyway,
I thought that one was super fucking creepy.
Yeah, real creepy. But
again, though, I hope it works like that.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's proof of the afterlife. So that's all I want. I'll get religious real fast. Maybe not super religious, but I can get a little spiritual if I can figure out there's an afterlife.
But I'm not sure. I don't know if there's an afterlife like that. That kind of
who knows what
that's
the
not
afterlife
religion,
is.
though, isn't it? If that's
well, at least spiritual. I mean, I'm going to start to
Religion's
figure out. I'm going to start to
man-made,
wonder
aren't
about existence at that point. Like, is there a point to it? If I live outside of this, what is the point of this physical being? If there's another existence before or after? I start thinking about that. I don't give a fuck right now because as far as I'm concerned, what we see is what we get, and that's it. But if there was an afterlife, I'd start to get a little existential.
that's eschatology.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
All right, here's my second story. It's not as creepy yet. I got my first
gotta
two
rate
ones.
that. I'm going to rate creepiness 4.
4.
'Cause I've heard it before. I don't think it's unique as far as creepy. It's
Coming
not what I
from
call creepy.
Dr.
Everybody
Armand,
had,
I mean,
like,
the
the
creepy
same
level is going to
Yeah,
be
it's
a
not
little
creepy. I think the
Armand,
wife
let's
walking
creep it out.
around.
This ain't creepy to you.
Yeah,
I
that
get
the
it.
plausibility.
You think that's
I'm gonna
creepy?
give it
Come to my
3.
office.
Yeah, there's some creepies. Anyway, we will discuss that.
That's funny. This fucking camera, I swear to God. All right, anyway, my second story here is titled, "My older brother told me where to find my missing TV remote last night. He has been deceased since 2011. Now, this was 10 days ago. The story was posted by a guy named Herminator. So,
Oh, yeah, the Herminator.
The Herminator. Yeah. So it starts like this. Last week, my wife and I attended a wedding and had to have a sitter watch the kids overnight. When we returned home, everything was fine except the remote for the living room had gone missing. Usually when this happens, it's stuck in no man's land under the couch, but I could not find it anywhere. I actually gave up on it and ordered 2 more remotes off eBay. Problem solved, right?
Yeah.
So last night, before I got up to go to bed, my son came out of his room and asked if he could sleep with his mom, so I told him yes, and got the couch ready to sleep on. While I was asleep, I had the first dream of my deceased brother since he passed in 2011. In the dream, he was holding my remote in his hand, saying he was sorry for making me spend money. He knows I don't like to waste money on things I didn't need, and that he would put the remote back where it usually is. The first thing I did when I woke up this morning was to check the spot that he told me in the dream, and it was there. I checked that spot at least once a day since it went missing. Thanks, Jeff. I'll return those new remotes as soon as they arrive. And there's an edit here at the end of it. Edit. Guys, when I told my wife about the dream and showed her the remote, she started crying. Between her and I, that spot on the couch was checked and rechecked at least 20 times. I'd also told my sister about it, and she was ecstatic because he would mess with both of us when we were kids by hiding things in really tough spots until he was sure we had looked everywhere and then put it in an obvious spot we weren't around. It's like a classic Jeff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Holy shit. That is cool.
It's cool. Not super creepy, but like, just a little touch of the spirit world.
Yeah, but
The spirit world.
We're in the spirit world, yeah.
I'm in the spirit
I
world.
love that. You ever seen
Preternatural.
Young Guns? Anyway.
Young Guns, no? They were on a peyote trip. It's crazy, though, because, like, all this happened this was a dream, So this guy, it kind of paints a different perspective as to, like, what spirituality is, that they can invade our dreams. I didn't know that.
Apparently they can visit you any fucking way possible.
Right, yeah, that's cool.
And I've said it before with aliens and any other type of story we hear, that if 99.9% of every fucking tale we hear about this is false, that still leaves the 0.1. So you got to keep the open mind on this kind of stuff. Even if it's as dumb as the guy told him or found out where his remote was. Maybe. If there's no point for life, then there's no point for afterlife. And if the afterlife exists only for me to tell you where your remote is, I mean, who's to say that's not, goddamn camera, not the way it goes?
Yeah, I'd be happy
if
I found my remote after a month or two.
Okay.
But you think that does that give life purpose? that you can come back and.
What is your purpose, Armand?
There is none.
No, it might
There
give.
is. Read philosophy.
If-
There's no purpose.
if we were
Schopenhauer.
If we were to learn there is an afterlife, then I would have to start thinking there was a purpose for us to have a physical life. What is the reason for us as a non-corporeal being to be given a physical life to experience? That's what I have to start pondering. I don't want to do that.
What would happen
It
to
gives you a chance to live out, like, you're like figure out what kind of person you are in order to place you in the afterlife.
Could
if
be.
there
How about
is
a
an
miscarried
afterlife.
child?
But what if the
or an
afterlife
aborted
isn't the
baby?
afterlife?
The
Would they
afterlife
have an
is
afterlife?
eternity, but they need
And
to
you
get-
existed before and after your life.
Yeah, but you have to be gauged, on what kind of like.
So judgment. So I
Maybe.
refuse to believe that there's a judgment in existence. It doesn't make sense.
Why not?
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
You mean like a religious?
Yeah, in that regard, I would say it doesn't make sense. Just me.
I like the balls of energy theory myself. That's a good one. You ever heard that? No. I'll forward you the article.
right.
I'll find it. It's a very good article.
So if you die, what can I expect you to hide of mine? And I know you're not coming back to tell me about it, so let's get it over with now.
Your car.
You're going to hide my car.
Yeah.
Oh my God. In the couch cushions?
No.
That's the last place he'd look.
Where
No.
are you going to hide it? Are you going to bother telling me?
No. Why?
So it's
why
just
would
going to
I
get
tell you no?
stolen, and I'm not going to bother going to the cops. It's just my dead brother.
Right. Yeah.
I
Why
knew
don't
this
you-
was coming.
Why
Fucking
don't you fill out
trickster.
that report?
Fucking
Yeah.
trickster.
Yeah, they'll come after you with a butterfly net.
No, I'd probably hide something like your mic that goes into your Astros. I'd just pull that out and
Take
hide
away his
that.
damn camera. All he does is fidget with it.
His
Hey,
phone.
There he goes again.
His phone.
I can't help it today. I don't normally like. I'm just going to rip it down over here, stick it on the desk.
I don't know. You would think there's better things to do, though, if if there is an afterlife and I could see you going back to see your grandson and embracing him. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's not worth it to go back and tell somebody where the remote is? It's worth it to keep a
I think
promise?
kind of a waste, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know, man.
Depends on your
rather-
personality.
So you
I
get
guess.
Quotidian, isn't
you
it?
get to come from the afterlife to the physical world based on merit? Like I said, I promised.
Or does everybody get one? Like this dude chose to go to his grandson. This guy was like, okay,
Yeah,
I
like-
got to let him know where I hid the
Yeah,
remote.
that's pretty stupid.
You get one fucking comeback from the afterlife.
That's interesting.
you know what?
That'd
If
be
that's-
kind of a cool movie, actually. That's
if-
not a bad idea for a script.
If that's the case, I'm not going to steal your car. I'm doing something else if I got one. If I only get one.
I think you'd castrate him or something. You'd do something really nasty.
No, I
You're
don't know
gonna
what
fucking
I'd do.
castrate me. I'll just kill you myself.
I'd probably like pull the president's pants down on live TV. Just, something crazy, man.
That's crazy.
I'd
man.
rather flip up Kellyanne Conway's skirt so everybody can have some fun.
Did they say Cromer needed Studio 11? We better get humping on this.
Oh,
I don't know.
Anyway, let's
well,
go for your
we've
third
got
story.
Another hour.
All right. My third story is called Needing Some Help by Heart.
Well, wait a minute.
Core.
We didn't rate that thing. The creepiness was maybe a 3, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that creepy, but I think
No.
plausibility is another
2.
2.
Needing some help. I don't even see this one on your list.
Okay, now go ahead.
Oh, it's not got the same. Okay, yeah, sorry. I see it.
Needing Some Help by Hardcore. So,
How old is the story?
it's like a week old.
So you took everything that was recent basically on there.
No. But these two are.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, no. So me and my husband have been suffering from some unexplained activity recently, and it's starting to freak us both out. And I'm not sure where to turn to IRL, so I figured I'd go to Reddit. Before I start, I just want to stress that all of this is true, and I only want serious solutions to our issues. So
you want a
don't-
solution?
Don't troll me,
Oh,
basically.
maybe we can offer some help here. All right,
The
good.
stuff started a few weeks ago. Now my husband is a very rational guy. He's a complete support of scientific answers and pretty much everything, and a skeptic of most things. Sometimes annoyingly so. I can relate.
Let's get him on the show.
He's always had bad
like it.
dreams, but recently he has been having serious nightmares. He works quite late and doesn't usually go to bed until 2 to 4 a.m. by when I am already fast asleep. Usually around 3 to 4 a.m. he wakes me up because he is seriously convinced that there is some sort of bad presence in the room. Okay, I just thought of something I didn't think of before. He's using this bad presence to get midnight booty. Waking her up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Well, I haven't heard
Oh,
the
there's-
story yet.
there's something
Let's get
here.
your theory
yeah,
afterwards.
I think I want to
Anyway.
get all the facts.
Usually around 3 or 4 he wakes me up because he's seriously convinced that there's some sort of bad presence in the room. One time even claiming he could feel something grab his leg from under the bed sheets. I'm more of a believer in the paranormal, but I try to disprove it first with science, so I argue that he could just be sleep paralysis of some sort. However, I could hear one of the cats hissing at something in the hallway. It could have been her hissing at the other cat, but this is rather unlikely as they get along so well with each other and was a little bit coincidental. It's really freaking me out because I'm not too sure what to do. There's another few things I've noticed myself around the house. The outdoor light, for example, has been switching itself on and off at night, and when my husband was awoken by this presence. So when he gets woke up at 3 or 4 in the morning,
Lights going on.
The lights flickering,
Spectre.
I mean, you hear that about that kind of stuff when there's
Of course. When I am home alone, I get goosebumps, a really bad sense of something being wrong, and a feeling of being watched. It got so bad today and was accompanied by an odd chill that I ended up locking myself in the bathroom for a bit.
How's that going to help?
I think she's crazy. A lot of our stuff has gone missing and randomly emerged in other places. That's the
there we go again.
Same thing.
Another,
I've tried attributing
remote hider.
Oh, this is I didn't think. I've tried attributing this to our new cats, but the stuff vanishing and reappearing in odd locations started happening.
Yeah, when they
before
move the
my husband.
microwave, I think you can eliminate the cats.
Amy says in the chat, "Is it the cat?"
Hey, Amy, right on the
Wow.
Amy's sharp, man.
I don't really know what to do. It's getting to the point to where I'm fearing going to bed. Right now it's 12:30 a.m. and I'm typing this because I'm fearful of another weird episode tonight. Any help would be appreciated. Edit. Completely forgot to mention the balloon. Just before this stuff started, a fucking balloon randomly appeared in the house. I want to say that it floated in, but it's been pretty chilly here in the last few weeks. So we've all had all the doors and windows shut at night. This Peppa Pig balloon just appeared in our house one day, and neither of us are too sure how it got there.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
What's that mean?
That's
It's a British cartoon for kids, like 4 to 6-year-olds.
Okay, mate.
All right, Amy probably watches that.
Since it most definitely wasn't there when we moved in, and nobody had come over in between when we got the place and when it appeared.
It sounds like an add-on for creepy.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw in a Peppa Pig balloon to really fucking drive this home.
Yeah, that was an edit after the fact, so I don't think that was.
Oh, that was an edit?
We can't give that credence.
That was an edit, the Peppa Pig balloon.
I was gonna say, it seems like an add-on
No
after the fact
addenda.
for creepy. But I don't know. That's a pretty weird one. What are your thoughts, Armand?
I don't know what to say about that. I agree. I think the husband's up to something.
I think he's trying to get laid in the middle of the night.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Let me flick the fucking light off.
It's
real
always
quick.
the
Baby,
spouse.
some grab my leg.
It sounds
Yeah.
like kind of like classic night
Hold me
terrors
tight.
and nightmares to me.
Night voices.
It sounds like nightmares and night terrors to me. It's a pretty common thing for people to get.
Peppa Pig, yeah. See, your
Tell me
son's
you
watching
haven't
it.
woke up from any dream, be it good or bad, before, and felt like it was absolutely real.
Yeah,
At least for a period of minutes afterwards.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, those are.
Oh,
yeah.
I've had the time where I woke up and go, did that happen?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it's not hard to believe somebody who has
And then you
recurring
start thinking
nightmares.
like, no, I don't have, that kind of car, and you got to just use logic when that stuff happens. When you have a dream that you think is really fucking real,
Well, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you're still stuck slightly. Like I know I've been stuck in dreams for what seems like a minute, where I'm still thinking of that person in that dream. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Where like the world of the real and the world of the dream are kind of at conflict. And I'm like, you never like that waking feeling of struggling coming out of a dream where you're like,
That's
trying
called
to-
sleep paralysis.
well, no, we're trying to marry the fact of the logic of what you know is real versus what you've just lived and experienced, and you're still that person in your head. You have that.
Never.
Thought, you never had that? Have you had that? Where
Hey,
you kind
Lar.
of where
No, yeah, I think like 1% or something. They study these dreams. The ones where you're in the dream, but you know you're in a dream and you can kind of control it.
well, that's like lucid dreaming.
Is that what they call that?
Yeah, that's what they call
What
it.
are you talking about?
I'm talking about whenever you're just coming out of a dream and you're still relatively.
Say it. You just woke up,
But you're
and
still
you can
kinda in that-
remember the dream very vividly,
right.
but
And you
you're
still
not
feel like-
sure.
Well, it's not even that. Whenever you're in a dream and it is real life, like when you
Yeah.
come out of that dream and you're starting to wake up, your brain for a short period of time still thinks like you're that person in that dream. You know what I'm saying? And you're having a conflict.
Right. I know what you're talking.
When you're waking up, the conflict of what
Those are
I
very
just
vivid
lived
dreams. Yeah.
versus what I know is real. You know what I mean? I know I have this car in real life, but I also have this car here, and I know I got to get the car in the shop in the dream. You know what I mean? It's like weird conflicts. You never had that? So what I'm saying is, if you're having a lot of shit ton of nightmares, like recurring, I totally think you could easily believe it. I don't think it's bullshit that this person's trying to get booty. I think this is a person who has night terrors and recurring nightmares.
You think
and who
so?
believes it. Have you ever had recurring dreams that you believed, positive or negative?
I've never had recurring dreams.
You never had a recurring dream? Wow. I have the ability, and I've had this forever, to continue dreams. I can wake up, like if it's like
I
in
can't do
between
that.
I can't either.
in between snoozes, like
Right.
I'll hit my
Wow.
snooze on my alarm.
Wow.
I can go right back to sleep and pick a dream up. I
That's
can do this for
that's a
10.
talent.
I did this for over 10 snoozes before, like hour and a half.
It must have been a hell of a dream.
Oh man,
I usually don't want to get back to
I
mine.
have fun dreams, man. I have really fun dreams. Not like they're lucid, but they're more like adventures.
No.
I don't know. I have a good time.
Like
Like
a very
but they're-
fecund imagination.
like apocalyptic alien invasion. I had a dream. My favorite dream of all time was an epic fucking alien invasion where I was leading my group of people out into safety. So much fun. I don't know. They were destroying. It was like War of the Worlds.
I'd
But
feed
I'm
you
having the
guys
time of
to
my
the
life. I can't
aliens.
wait to get back in there and fucking get our people out to safety. That was my fun
Me.
dream.
I'd side with the aliens. I'd backstab all humankind.
I like my
Really?
people.
Jesus Christ, Armand.
Team Armand, everybody.
Malefactor.
Yeah, that's your Team Armand. If you would like to switch, go to www.surrealtalkpodcast.com and go down on the
Amy
right
already
side.
voted.
Switch it.
Can't
Yeah,
change.
but they can switch it here to Team Eric.
Speaking of which, can I offer mine as kind of a stupid? What do you guys think of this? When I'd go visit my friend for these nocturnal visits in her trailer, she tried to convince me she had a ghost that would turn on her boombox in the middle of the night, and and now get a load of this. This is the quality woman I end up with. Here's how she combated this. Well, to checkmate this apparition or this specter, she would unplug the boombox, and then it didn't happen anymore. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, a ghost came in here and turned on your boombox, and to prevent this from happening, you unplugged the boombox?
I mean, that's logical.
Does that make sense?
We're going to
ever
try
seen-
this. We're going to try this. I'm going to unplug it.
Poltergeist?
Yeah.
Well, if it's a ghost, what
It's
the hell?
unplugged.
Dude,
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's stupid, right? If it's a ghost, it turns on. It doesn't need the power.
No.
Correct?
you never know how it works, Armand. Maybe with that ghost it does. Here's a confession for me.
ridiculous?
There's no movies out there worse than Poltergeist for me to watch that hit me in like a real scared place. You know what I mean? Watching those movies with the afterlife like that, and they seem so real, especially the Poltergeist ones for whatever reason.
Poltergeist is scary, man.
Dude, they scare the shit out more than Jason, Michael Myers, any of the
Yeah, those
slasher
are-
shits. Those type of ghost stories, Paranormal Activity, for instance, that one still bothers the fuck out of me. I know it's fake as
I'll
hell.
watch it.
You never watch Paranormal? You should watch that, dude.
No,
It's good.
I ain't doing
You
it.
seen that one?
I've seen like number 5 or something.
Watch
It
the
just
first
did-
one.
Okay,
It's the only one that's really
somebody
worth
dragged
watching.
me to it. It was terrible.
The first one was worthwhile.
Okay.
These type of movies and these type of experiences, among any other stories I hear, are the ones that make me hold my breath. You know what I mean? They give me that deep breath, like
Well, I agree with you that something like
Involuntarily,
that
I'm
is
just like-
more scary than a slasher movie where it's just they're always making out in a car and the guy's going to breathe heavily and
Right,
It's a-
you've
it's
got
a
your
lot
one
different.
big
Jump scene where, and then it's
right.
but
not-
it's stuff like the afterlife and plausible ghost
Right.
stories. You know, what's in the dark that
Have you ever seen the original The Haunting?
I have not.
Oh, now that's we have it on our
We'll have to find it.
we have it.
We'll have it. It's in the
Watch
library.
it. It's scary.
The Haunting. I want to.
Really
I
scary.
feel like I've seen a newer version.
Yeah,
of that,
it
though.
sucked. The old one is really scary, and it had none of that baloney special effects.
What was the
ghost story? It's a ghost story.
Yeah, but what's the like? Give me a
The
synopsis.
house is possessed, and it's possessing one. And
You remember the episode of The Simpsons, The First Treehouse of Horror?
Yeah.
That one.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
really?
it's the real story it was based on.
well, this scientist was going to. He's actually studies this preternatural scientist.
The House on Haunted Hill.
no,
no,
that's
it's called
different.
The Haunting.
The House on Haunted Hill was
1963.
about a sanitarium, wasn't it?
Wasn't that the
No.
one with? Wasn't that the one with Vincent Price?
Yeah,
They had-
yeah, yeah.
That was in
Vincent
Emerjo. Remember,
Right.
because the skeleton would come out in the middle of the show in the theater. Scare
I
the
don't
hell out of
remember that
everybody.
part. I
Yeah,
never got to experience
true.
it like that. I saw the.
Yeah.
I saw
I'm not 900 years old, Armand. I wouldn't know.
I don't either. I wasn't that old. That's just a piece of movie trivia.
All right, you guys ready for my next
Hang
one?
on, Raylene says that the Poltergeist movie had bad
camp.
stuff happen to
camp.
all the actors too. The actors believe the movie was cursed.
I'd heard about that too.
Ocho man scared of his own shadow, Luar. He's a coward.
Damn. All right, here's my
Doesn't
third.
want me on the show.
Here's my third story. It's the title is and in parentheses haunted home showing I'll never forget
Okay.
by The Real Mess of submitted a year ago. The key points she wants to start out with is I'm assume she, I don't know. Real estate agent, I automatically get sexist. and
Yeah,
assume
you think
she.
that.
Weird. Sorry. Key points, I'm a real estate agent. Also, for privacy, I've changed some of the names of the clients. One of the few haunting types of things I've experienced. Anyway, here we go. My clients, Jim and Pam, okay, that's from The Office, had been looking for a home to buy for a while. We'd seen a few houses that were in their price range but didn't have the features they wanted. So when a home matching their requirements and price point popped up on the market, we were all more than motivated to give it a look and hopefully make an offer. We scheduled a showing for 7 p.m. that evening. I didn't have much going on that day, so I got over there around 6:45, and I still had 15 minutes before the buyers would get there, so I decided to do a look through the house. Also turn on the lights as it was getting dark, and turning on lights for showing is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
When I walk into the house, right away I notice it's fairly nice for the price it's at. Seemed to be underpriced by at least $10K, if not more. And that gets me excited. I know the buyers are going to want to make an offer. So I just have to make sure there's nothing super awful. As I make my way through the rooms, turning on lights, I come upon an intercom in a hallway next to the kitchen. Press it and talk through it to hear that the other receiver is directly below me in the basement. Very cool, as I've only seen intercoms in the movies. Then I walk through the door frame into the kitchen. The counters in the cupboards look nice but cheap. And then I notice the refrigerator is open. Must have bad suction or something, or someone left it open. I think to myself and go over and shut it. I give it a little tug, but it seems sealed pretty well, so I figure someone from a previous showing left it open. Even though the refrigerator has nothing in it, that's still a little rude of the last agent not to do a once-over and shut it. As I mull this over, the intercom buzzes and static comes through. I slowly walk into the hallway as it continues, and a few steps away, it cuts out. Must have been electric shortages or something downstairs. I hadn't gone downstairs yet, so I figure I might as well go turn on the light and check what's going on with the intercom. The basement doesn't have a switch. Just pull a string attached to a light in the middle of the room. The light from the outside is coming through the small windows just enough so I can see where I'm going, but not much more. Before I can pull the light string, I hear the intercom buzz come back on. This time it's static through the basement receiver, so the interference is coming from upstairs now. Not really sure what's going on at this point. I turn on the light and run up the stairs. Again, the intercom stops as soon as I get close, but something in the kitchen catches my eye. I walk into the kitchen to find that every cupboard, drawer, and the refrigerator again is wide open. My heart sinks and the hairs on the back of my neck stand. At this point, the scare is over, but the clients called to let me know they had just arrived. 6:55. This happened very quickly. I hurriedly slammed everything shut and tried to act normal for a bit. When I opened the door, Jim asked if I was feeling all right. I assumed I was slightly pale. Looked like you've just seen a ghost type of appearance.
Understandable.
We quickly walked through the house. Nothing opened this time, but afterwards, when asked how they felt about the house, they both agreed that something felt off and dark about the house. I told them I sensed that too, but didn't go into detail. Needless to say, we didn't write an offer, and I've never gone back. Definitely creeped me out. Definitely haunted.
Really?
That's a pretty believable sounding story.
Yeah, I like the detail.
Yeah, very
Attention
detailed.
to detail, yeah. I'm going to give that one a plausibility of 4 because it was well written.
I like the fact that you said any type of paranormal thing anywhere in the world has any plausibility level. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, we've cracked him.
Yeah.
We've cracked him. You've just said that these things
these
opening...
are all relative. I mean...
Well, relative to the rest of them?
Yeah, those other stories.
I'm
This one I think I'll buy more
striking that from the record. Striking that from the record.
More than the spider-crawling wife.
Yeah, that thing there in the floor you got to watch out for.
Yeah, I just kicked it. There we go. All right. So, yeah, I give that a fucking creepy level of 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Especially since right now I'm looking for a house. That's one of the worst things you could do is buy a haunted house.
Oh, are you kidding? I think that would increase the value, wouldn't it?
I mean, if you could prove it, but
Yeah,
nobody in
that'd
the
be
history
great.
of proving anything has ever proved a real haunted house. What you got is a bunch of freaked out fuckers.
Has
The people
anybody
in them
ever
are always
proven-
freaked out.
When you say haunted, though, has anybody ever proven that they've been harmed? Let's say it's haunted. That just means the ghost lives there.
Because if you can prove it, then you can prove an afterlife, and everything in the whole world changes.
None of that has ever been proved.
But like movies, when they're haunted, it's a maleficent, right?
I don't know what that word
entity.
means.
Yeah, it means bad, malevolent, maleficent. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
as
Then,
in
yeah.
benevolent.
Well, no, there's good spirits.
beneficent. Right, but there's bad ones too. Is there?
Well, yeah, in the movies, you're talking about in the movies, of course.
That's
There's
what I'm
good
saying.
and
But none
bad.
of these
I mean,
stories always have.
You can't have good without bad. There's no reason to call
she
something
wasn't
good if
hurt.
there isn't something opposite.
Yeah, it's like the thing didn't kick me down the stairs as I was investigating.
Yet.
Right.
Yet. I mean, we
Yet.
don't know. What if those guys would have been, instead of 5 minutes early, 5 minutes late? She had 10 more minutes in that house. By herself. Who knows what could happen?
Things
Later,
could
could
have
have come, could have back
escalated.
on.
Something
Yeah.
good could have happened. Maybe
They
it gave
could
her
have
a
started
lottery
talking
winner
to
or
her.
something. Maybe why not? How about
Yeah,
that?
man, that's
Could have been a succubus.
possible.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's possible.
I want one of them.
I don't know. I thought that was a creepy ass story whenever I read it.
That's the best one yet, I think.
I think so too. All right, Eric, you got your next one?
I do have my next one. It's right here. It's called My Sister's Wedding Band, Unexplained Occurrence. This is the subtitle. By Echoes of the Moor. M-O-O-R. That's who the story's
Yeah,
by.
stay off the moors.
Hello, everyone new here, but I had to join after reading so many posts and wanting to share my stories. Just to give a short rundown, my family has an extensive history with having paranormal experiences, unexplained occurrences, a.k.a. we're all fucking crazy. I will be sharing more soon.
Turn your mic
but
a
I
little
wanted-
better, if you would.
But I want to start with a very interesting unexplained experience we had. I have an older sister as well as an older brother, or as well as a brother that's older to both of us. So this lady is the youngest child with an older sister and older brother. She got married, lives about 3 hours away from where me and the rest of my family live. So in 2009, 2010, I was dating a girl that I ended up marrying, and when I had just graduated college, I was living with my parents until I found a job and got my own place. She would come stay at their house on the weekends with me, and she always packed a duffel bag of clothes and belongings. This one Saturday, we had woke up and had a full day planned. We were going to the furniture store to pick out a couch. Then we had planned on going to the movies with my parents and dinner afterwards. We were both getting dressed, and I noticed she was leaning down getting stuff out of her bag that was located in my closet, and I heard her say, "What is this?" I walked over, looked down, and there was this ring laying there by itself in the bottom of her bag. I was like, "That's odd. Where'd you get that at?" Or, "When did you get that?" she says. "That's not mine," her girlfriend tells her. I am not sure whose ring this is. I shrugged and then said, put it on. It's pretty. She picked it up, put it on, and it fit her finger perfectly. We didn't think anything else of it and carried on with our day. Later that evening, we were at the movie theater, and my sister had texted me and was asking about the movie we were watching while we were waiting for the movie to begin. We were chit-chatting through text. I told her about my girlfriend finding that ring in her bag. My sister then asked for me to send her a picture of that ring, curious to see what it looked like, and I obliged. Several minutes go by, and I looked down and noticed my phone was flashing, that I had an incoming call from my sister. I answered the phone, and I was like, hello? And on the other end, I heard silence for a second, followed by sniffling, and then my sister's broken voice saying, where did you find it? She was obviously crying, and I was completely confused because I wasn't sure why. I responded, what do you mean, the ring? We found it in the bottom of my girlfriend's bag at the house while we were getting ready this morning. She went completely silent, and then after a few moments, she goes, there's no way. That's not possible. Let me call you back later. Enjoy the movie. When we got off the phone, and I was completely confused, but I wasn't sure what else to think or say. So we watched our movie, had dinner, and forgot about it. After I got home, my sister called me back and explained why she acted so strange. She proceeded to tell me that the ring was her wedding band and had been missing for well over a year. Additionally, she knew it was her ring because it had a small bend crease on the one side where she had mashed it one time. This is strange enough in itself, but it gets even better. She told me she had lost the ring in Charlotte at their home 3 hours away after taking her rings off and setting them on the counter next to the toilet. And after she had flushed, she slipped and hit the rings, and the band fell on the toilet while in the middle of flushing. She said that moment stands out to her because she remembers the sound of the band hitting the porcelain of the toilet. She had been emotional about it for a long time, knowing that she accidentally flushed her wedding band down the toilet, but hadn't told anybody because it was kind of embarrassing. What makes this even more strange, my girlfriend wasn't even in the picture at the time that the ring went missing. I was in college the year before and had never even met her. I met her after I graduated and moved home, so there is no way she could have retrieved this ring. The last piece of the story that gets even more interesting is my sister and my brother-in-law were going through a very rough patch in their marriage at this time. My sister had suffered from infertility and was not able to give her husband a child. They fought a lot, and she had interfered and caught her husband in the middle of planning a love affair with a woman at his work. They were close to divorce and had even been discussing it. The day I spoke to her on her phone, she called me after seeing the picture of her ring, excuse me, and we're even discussing it on the day that I spoke to her on the phone when she called me after seeing the picture of the ring I sent her. She looks back at that moment and contributes that to being the kickstart to repairing their marriage. They are still happily married and adopted a child 5 years ago. I still to this day have no explanation how this was even possible. The universe is incredible.
Wow.
I believe the part about the husband trying to have an affair.
That's plausible.
Yes,
That's plausible.
I'll give that a 10.
Men do have affairs.
I don't know. It is eerie. I'll give it a 5
I put this
for
up there
creepiness.
with the story of the dog who traveled 3 states and found his family. You know what I mean? It's very weird. It's like how do these objects, which have no rightly way to travel these distances?
Yeah, but a dog is animated object.
It's way more likely.
A ring, yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like this is one of those weird stories of how did an object get to a place where it shouldn't have any place to be.
And it's the same exact ring. It's not a just the same design ring.
Do you believe it's the same ring or just a fucking crazy ass? She heard it go into the toilet.
Yeah, she's implying.
Now hang on. She heard it hit the porcelain.
But even then, how's it going to end up in her?
It could have hit the side.
Went into a garbage can nearby. Somebody found it. I mean,
landfill. Went to a pawn shop. There's.
I would say it's more likely that the coincidence that it is the exact same design ring. Like you bought a ring from fucking Gales or whatever like that, and they used that same design on 10 different rings they had made. That's much more likely to me. I don't know where the supernatural would be. What the fuck? The guy nobody was dead in this. There's no ghost part of it. It's just weirdly that ring showed up a year later in someplace a couple hundred miles away.
Yeah, well, 3 hours. That's
3 hours away.
And that's the weird thing too, because she wasn't even in the picture at the time that the ring went missing. This new girlfriend that found this ring in the bottom of her bag. So people could say, "Oh yeah, bitch stole it" or whatever. No, because she wasn't even this dude's girlfriend when that shit went missing.
Oh, I'll grant you, if this really happened as described, it's
super weird.
Yeah, right.
It's right up there if it really happened as described.
Creepiness.
With the time skip, if it really like that time skip from the first story I did with the mother and son if that happened, it's right up there with a completely fucking unexplainable.
I think it's even more.
Yeah, it's completely unexplainable.
Yeah, if it happened as described.
As described,
right.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought that one was super creepy. It was cool. It was weird to me because the girlfriend wasn't even in the picture at the time. And the wife and his sister contributes him sending a picture of that lost wedding ring to her repairing her marriage because they were suffering through infertility, infidelity, all
Right.
kinds of shit was going down. And that picture just like gave her the spark that she needed. Like,
Well, I
holy
can
shit.
believe that.
Well, like she's thinking in her head, like,
Yeah.
I like remembering what that wedding ring meant.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, this was the reason. Like, looking at that, it could mean so much. You know what
Well,
I mean?
yeah, you can see how
We
that
gotta
would be
work
so
on this
miraculous.
because, fuck,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
somebody's
Oh,
trying to.
Amy says maybe the girlfriend was the one the husband was going to have an affair with, and he had
Ooh.
found the ring and given it to her.
I'll go with Amy on that one. I like that one.
Holy shit.
Most sense made. Most sense made right there.
Hey, that's a good
I
explanation.
changed my mind right now, just now.
Yeah, that's the answer
Amy's
right there.
brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Team Armand too.
Gonna
Boy,
need you to
she's
come
on
back
my
more often.
team.
All right, that
What
was
does that tell you guys?
it's pretty wacky.
And it was in
I
the
think that
bag
makes sense,
because the
yeah.
girlfriend took the
Ah.
trip with the dude.
Could be.
Holy shit.
She wasn't in the picture yet, huh?
Somebody
That's what
need-
you think.
You need to get on Reddit.
Wow.
You need to get on Reddit and message that lady. Just send her a private message. Hey, we got this cracked
nah,
open.
they're
for
happy
her.
We
now.
figured this shit
No,
out.
Or actually, it's the
Why do you
brother.
want to split them up?
I don't. You're right.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
happy.
Damn.
Now. They adopted a kid.
If it means keeping them from thinking
Damn.
something paranormal happened when it didn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, when somebody's just cheating on their spouse. Fuck.
Right.
This is much more simpler. It stems from that
Right.
cheating you already knew
Boy,
about.
he's caught. I hope they
He
don't
was
listen
playing
to this.
she was playing a love affair with a woman at the work. That's where she worked at.
Uh-oh.
That's
All right.
crazy.
Okay, well, I think we shed light on that one.
Here's my next one. It's titled "The Dead Boy in My Dreams Finally Spoke to Me." It's posted 2 months ago by someone named April Showers _XX. Don't even say it. Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
No,
No.
that would be a different one.
Not me.
Has nothing.
Not Armand.
There's nothing yellow in it. Just
All right.
April showers.
Sure.
It's
nothing-
something spring-like, primavera.
April showers bring May flowers, Armand. What do May flowers bring?
Oh boy, this better be dirty.
Do you know?
No,
Pilgrims.
True.
very good. So did the speedwell, but it sprung a leak.
Yeah, you don't have that. And boat's gonna leak.
Yeah.
Anyway, dead boy finally spoke to me. My family moved into a small house in northeast Ohio when I was about 5 years old. I had a bedroom on the first floor for a few years, and everything went fine. The entire upstairs attic was my parents' bedroom, quote unquote, since it was just one giant room. When I was 12, I switched rooms with them so I could have the big room. The attic always gave me a strange feeling, but nothing horribly off-putting. Sometimes I would be sitting at my desk alone, and I would manage to spook myself out with what I thought was just my wild imagination. I just never felt completely alone for some reason. A few months after staying in the attic, a young boy started to appear in my dreams, probably about 6 years old. He was almost blue in color, had short dark hair, and wore little shorts and a button-down shirt. Sounds like an old schoolboy type of outfit.
Sounds like Thomas Gainsborough's Blue Boy.
Yeah, kind of. Almost like a 1960s type school uniform. Okay.
Yeah, very good.
He always had a neutral expression on his face. He never spoke to me in my dreams. He was just there. He would occasionally
in
point
the
to-
attic.
No, in the dreams. Just he was always in
Oh.
the dreams and never spoke. Was
Oh.
just a fixture, like just a. And
Yeah.
going on, he says he always had a neutral expression on his face. He never spoke to me. He was just there. He would occasionally point to things or just stare at me. I never felt once like he was evil or malicious. I think he just wanted to be seen by me. I would always wake up feeling like he was being watched after seeing him in my dreams. Eric, you paying attention?
I am.
Okay, what am I talking about?
You're talking about a little boy that has a 1960s school outfit on, and he's a dead kid, and this other kid sees him all the time.
Okay, fair enough. You never know. He's reading chat, and that's
Yeah,
sometimes
you
he
never
gets.
know
I'm not
with
reading
him.
chat. I'm actually doing something else, but I'm listening to you at the same
Playing
time.
Gotcha.
solitaire.
My bad, and I
Solitaire.
apologize.
It's on the
It's Minesweeper,
computer.
man.
Battleship. All right. I'm listening. I'm drinking in every word. All right.
All right. I
There
would
we
always
go.
wake up feeling like I was being watched after seeing him in my dreams. One night, I had a dream that he was standing by my bed and staring at me when I woke up. I felt an overwhelming presence close to my bed. I felt sick, like something was horribly wrong, but I still didn't feel like the boy was evil. Just sad and lonely, maybe. Like maybe he was having nightmares and wanted to be by me. I started to recognize his presence whenever I feel like I wasn't alone in my room. Fast forward to when I was 16. I hadn't seen the boy in my dreams for quite some time, until my grandmother passed away. I fell asleep the night before her wake and saw the boy in my dream. I was in a field and he was standing on top of a hill with his back turned toward me. Keep in mind, I've been dreaming about him for 4 years and he's never spoken to me before. He turns around and looks at me in a soft, slow voice and he says, "You know, her feet are cold." Then I woke up. I felt strange because he had literally never spoken to me before. But then he
That-
randomly tells me that someone's feet are cold. Okay.
Hmm.
So I went to my grandma's open casket wake that day, and my mom started to throw a fit because along with my grandmother's favorite belongings that were placed on her body in the casket, there was a pair of her favorite slippers on top,
Not on her feet.
not on her feet. My mom wanted the slippers put on my grandma's feet because her feet were always cold when she was alive. She wanted to make sure my grandma's feet would be warm in her afterlife. I had no idea that my mom had even asked the funeral home to put the slippers on her. I'd realized that the boy who often visited me in my dreams was letting me know that my grandma's feet were cold. Although I still saw him in my dreams and felt his presence, he never spoke to me again after this. I always felt a special appreciation for him. I felt more connected and at ease when he appeared in my dreams or when I felt his presence. He was like a guardian of some sort. I grew to love him. I don't live with my parents anymore, and ever since I moved out, he stopped appearing in my dreams. I miss him every now and then, and I'll go into my old bedroom and sit on the floor just so he can see me. So he knows that I'm okay and I still think about him. This was a real experience of mine, and I've wanted to share it with people for years. Maybe I'm crazy, but I know what I felt.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. A recurring character in your dreams. That'd be freaky, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine anybody anywhere comes up to you and tells you this dream, and you could probably believe them. They have a reoccurring character in their dreams. Tell me you're not going to have 10 fucking questions right off the bat about this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have any reoccurring characters in my dreams. A presence that feels like it is
me.
real and reoccurring in my dreams, like in this other land of dreaminess, there's a presence that's there. I know I have to deal with it.
And I know I'm going to take
good,
shit
bad,
for
or
this,
ugly.
But if you're going in and sitting on the floor so the dude can see you, you might be just a tad bit crazy.
I agree. But up until that point, let's get rid of that point where a motherfucker might be crazy going to visit.
Yeah.
That could happen to any one of us. Yeah.
Creepy as shit.
And the coincidence of the shoes could just be a coincidence, but again.
And this is
super
Northeast
creepy.
Ohio because touched by a 12 gauge says that's, I guess, a
He's
particularly
a Southwest
haunted,
Ohio.
Oh, okay. Well,
What are you
Northeast
saying there, Jed?
Ohio is haunted as AF. I know what that means.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Have you ever heard things like that? That sections of the country are more haunted. I guess.
I mean, Alton's supposed to be super haunted.
Right.
I mean, I've been through all the tours in Alton. I've
and
never
always
really
like
experienced
these
it.
homes in Maine and the New England, right? That area is supposed
Yeah,
to be.
the Winchester
Salem,
house is supposed to be
Salem,
super
of
haunted.
course, because of the witches, I guess.
Regionally, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine. What is it?
I like this one though
Big
for
city in Louisiana
imagination.
had the big Katrina. What was that city? New Orleans. I imagine that's a pretty haunted city as well.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know.
Especially because the graves are above sea level and all that.
Right, they keep them all above ground and
Yeah,
everything.
There's pretty scary movies down there.
Indeed. All right, that was my next one. I felt that was
I
kind
think
of
that's,
spooky.
I like it for imagination.
Indeed. All right, E.T., your turn.
Okay, this is my own experience of a crisis apparition by
I need glasses, Eric.
Sestrini Kiwi.
Oh,
First sign.
Sestrini Kiwi.
Sestrini Kiwi.
Yeah.
You like that name?
How do you spell it?
Don't ask that.
Cestrianikiwi.
Okay.
Well, must be from New Zealand, I guess, huh?
Must be.
Kiwi.
Most Kiwis, yeah.
Anyway, so a few years ago, I was
Anyway.
busily engaged. I like that word, busily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was busily engaged in packing up kitchen stuff since we're moving houses and trying to ignore the foul smell of silage coming from the fields outside.
Silage?
Don't know
I
that
don't
word.
even know what that is.
S-I-L-E.
Silo, I guess.
Silage.
S-I-L-A-G-E.
The stuff in a silo?
Silage.
It is
I like-
grass or other green fodder compacted and stored in airtight conditions, typically in a silo, without first being dried and used as animal feed in the winter.
Good
Okay,
word.
so you're smelling mold.
Busily, that's
It's
a good
fermented,
Yeah,
I guess you can
it's
call it.
disgusting.
word. That's an
The
apiary
foul smell of
sound to it.
silage coming from the fields outside, and then it was then I smelled the unique aroma of pipe tobacco smoke. Just as I registered this, I heard my granddad say, "You right, son?" from right behind me. I spun around, hoping to see him, only to find empty air. I say I hope to see him because the chances of him having been there were slim because he was on the other side of the world, back in the UK. Needless to say, I was a little spooked, but got on with it. The next day, we were unpacking stuff into the new house when the phone rang. My dad went in and a few minutes later called us all inside. It had been my auntie calling to say that my granddad had died suddenly of a massive heart attack. When I heard, I felt a shiver run up my spine. What were the odds? Furthermore, he had died while smoking a cigarette, not a pipe, which he would smoke on Sundays. May I not have been the only one to have a visit, as my dad said a short while after that they were driving back to the new house along windy country roads, and he felt like Granddad was with him and had asked, "Where the bloody hell are you taking me, son?" According to my auntie, psychic stuff like this runs in the family, and my great-grandma used to call it the spooky woos. So there it is. Yeah, so two people, separate incidents, halfway around the world, both felt like they, without having the prior knowledge of their grandpa dying, which one of them was his dad, not his grandpa, but without having the knowledge of it, both felt like on the same day, same time, had an experience with the grandpa simultaneously.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, I don't know. It's not the creepiest one
Standard
out here, but
stuff.
it wasn't bad. It was pretty crazy, I thought.
Kind of a pattern developing here, though, with some of these stories. It's,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
harbingers of death and other
you could look at it like this.
abnormalities.
Almost all ghost stories are like that. Whenever you're going to make up your own ghost story, you're going to follow the patterns you've read before. So, I mean, not everybody is super
Let me ask you that.
imaginary.
would a ghost have?
Imaginative.
What kind of abilities? I mean, could a ghost say, "Look, I got a hot tip for you in the third race at Fairmont or whatever," and give you? Would they have time travel abilities too, or were they omniscient?
Beats the shit out of me. Are they fourth dimensional beings? I don't know. Can they see the future?
Because
they
that'd like
experience the past, the future, and the present at the same time? It's a good question.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
And if they did, why the fuck would they care about giving anybody in our third dimensional experience or existence any tip about it?
Well, because say
Some
late
a loved
connection?
one, your loved one's poor, and whatever, and you're a ghost, and you could I don't want to see my loved one starve. You give them some sort of
That's to
help.
say, emotion and connections exist
Wouldn't that
in
make
the
sense?
afterlife, but I don't know.
It would.
I mean, I'd rather have my grandpa do that than embrace me. Give me a hot tip.
Give me a fucking stock market.
Yeah.
tip.
What are the lotto
right.
numbers, Gramps?
Right, that's what
Get
I'm
visceral.
saying.
Let's get real visceral.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If the ghost has this kind of power, you would think he'd give you some sort of inside information.
Well, if you've ever read the handbook for the recently deceased,
Yeah.
you know that's rule number 12. You
I'd
just
like
can't
to
do that.
see. Well, okay, maybe that's like Asimov's 3 Rules of Robots.
Did you ever see Beetlejuice? They had that was a book, and it was the handbook for the recently deceased that they found after they died. I thought it was
That's
kind of
pretty.
funny.
It was kind of fun. I don't remember that part, but I do remember
It was
kind of funny.
It was a goofy movie.
Yeah, it worked on a certain level.
It was a Tim Burton movie, which I usually shit on, but
Yeah.
I liked Michael Keaton in it. It was one of his finer roles.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I agree. All right, so I skipped one of my stories because the headline of this one really kind of grabbed me.
What was the movie where they made cars for the Japan?
Gung Ho.
people? Gung Ho. God damn,
flick.
that was a classic.
That was a good flick.
That was Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah, George Wendt was in that as
Okay,
well.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, he was.
All right. This is titled "Demons Are Real."
Uh-oh.
It's published by
this
Pushing
sounds
Daisies 21, submitted a year ago, roughly. This is undoubtedly the most terrifying experience that I've encountered in my life thus far. I was 8 or 9 at the time and staying with my sister and 2 cousins, 1 girl and 1 boy, at our grandparents' house. They live in the desert in the middle of nowhere in Arizona, but we spend almost every weekend all together at their house. I've never had anything happen there until this experience. The 4 of us decided to sleep over in the living room as there was more space for all of us to lay. The living room was small but still managed to fit into 2 long couches and 2 love seat type armchairs. My sister and boy cousin slept on 2 of the long couches, and my other cousin and myself rolled out blankets and slept on the floor in front of the freestanding wood stove. We snuggled up, and the soft glow of the dim lamp allowed us to drift into a peaceful sleep. Suddenly, my eyes shot open to the lightly lit room for some reason. I didn't hesitate waking up, but I hadn't heard anything that would have startled me. Everything was completely silent. How long had I been sleeping? It felt like a few hours at least, though my adrenaline wasn't helping to indicate how much rest I had actually received. My body and mind was on all systems go mode, and it was a surreal feeling. I'd never felt this kind of way, even back at a younger age. My cousin and I were laying on our sides, and I was facing her back. Seeing her long black hair reassured me that maybe everything was all right, because no one else had woken up out of fear. But that's when I saw it out of the corner of my eye. To my disbelief, something was in the room with us. One of the armchairs sat next to one of the couches, and a few feet in front of where my cousin's feet lay, there was a dark silhouette, a male figure, sitting in the chair. Not just normally sitting in it, no. His legs were pulled up to his chest. He was sitting in the chair sideways, his back leaning against one of the armrests. I slowly moved my gaze around the figure, not moving my head or body at all, only my eyes. I heard my heart pounding in my ears and felt my stomach flipping over itself violently. He was facing away and looking down as if he was watching my other cousin sleep on the couch. He was extremely lean and had straggly shoulder-length hair. There were multiple solutions in my mind to try to come up with a rationalize why this man was there. They raced through my head almost simultaneously. The first, he's a home intruder. Wait, we're in the middle of nowhere. No one lives around here, and he wouldn't be stealing stuff or trying to kill us if he broke into the house. Wait a minute. No, sorry. And wouldn't he be stealing stuff or trying to kill us if he'd broken into the house? Sorry for my inflection there. Okay, not a burglary. That's it. It's just a shadow in my mind is playing tricks on me. No, it can't be. He's sitting in front of the lamp, and I can't see any light through him. No way his shadow blocks all the light, and I can see real features like his hair and arms. Last sort of numb I know, but it crossed my mind that it might be Jesus. My parents never forced us to be religious, but we were taught certain aspects of Christianity and were encouraged to say the Lord's Prayer.
Jesus.
I felt a sense of calmness rush over me at the thought of this being Jesus, and honestly, I only thought that because of his long hair reminded me of all the depictions of pictures of Jesus I had seen. As quickly as the calmness filled my body, it was disturbingly torn away from me. Right when the thought of that this may be Jesus crossed my mind, this thing got up. It got up in such a strange manner, though. If you have ever played The Sims before, you know how weird the avatars move. like to sit, the avatar will walk up to a chair, turn to one side, then turn again, and then sit. That is the only way I've ever been able to describe how this thing moved, in that sort of broken, unnatural pattern. It stood up, still facing away, and then turned and faced forward, and then turned around so it was facing me, and then sat in the same position as it was before. Its legs brought up to its chest, and its arms wrapped around its knees. I was utterly terrified. My cousin was less than a foot away. I tried to get her attention. I think I managed to whimper her name quietly 2 times, till I was too afraid to keep trying. I didn't have the slightest clue what to do. I contemplated running for my grandparents' room, but it would require running right past this thing. I was in complete fear of my life and soul that I didn't want it to catch me. I contemplated just screaming and trying to get my sisters' and cousins' attentions, but I kid you not, the only thing that I thought was they're already dead. For some reason, that's the thought that was put in my mind, that they were already dead, and I was the last one that would be killed by this thing.
Jesus Christ.
As I'm having this internal meltdown and fearing the eternal damnation of my soul, this thing begins to run its hands up and down its calves. But not just that, its nails were scratching at its skin. I could still remember the exact sound of its nails scraping against its flesh. Recalling it brings tears to my eyes, and I don't think I'll be ever able to forget that moment. As it was scratching itself, it was still watching me. Though I couldn't make out the exact facial features, its head was positioned down as if it were looking at me, and I could definitely feel it. I don't know how long this went on for. Time was so warped and messed up, I still can't figure out how long this encounter occurred. As he continued to scratch, I heard the squeak of the rocking chair behind me, and the noise you'd hear when someone stands up out of an old chair. The exact thought that went through my mind is, you've got to be fucking kidding me. There's 2 of these? I remember at that moment I stopped breathing. I internally tried to meditate and calm myself, thinking that these entities are feeding off my fear. I remember telling myself to slow my heart rate, and actually at that moment I accepted my fate. Then I felt the thing lay down behind me as if it were spooning me. I never felt it touch me, but I felt the blankets behind me move. The biggest chill ran down my spine as I heard one elongated breath in my ear. Not only did I hear it, I felt my hair be brushed across my cheek as the air hit it. At this point, I was over it. All I could think of was to do is to say the Lord's Prayer, so I quickly joined my hands together and mentally recited the words, which I had always brushed off and joked about before.
What's the Lord's Prayer?
How's it start?
Something.
Lord's Prayer?
Who art in heaven,
no,
hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Yeah.
And give us this day our daily
Our
bread.
Father who art in heaven.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Your kingdom come, your will be done. Yeah, that one. Anyway, where was I? Hang with
Is that
me
the
here.
23rd Psalm?
I don't know.
Mark 16:9-13.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
I have no clue.
23rd Psalm.
Psalm 23. Let's see. Then I was, okay. At this point, I was over it. All I could think about was to do the Lord's Prayer, so I quickly joined my hands together and mentally recited the words, which I had always brushed off and joked about before. Then I was out. I don't remember anything except waking up to daylight the next morning. I jumped up, looked around the living room, and instantly became an emotional pile of goo. I woke up my sister and cousins and told them everything and was so thankful that they were okay. I have considered multiple theories of what could have happened that night. Though shadow people and sleep paralysis would be a possible theory, I don't believe that's what happened. I could still speak and move. I haven't had recurring experiences like people have with sleep paralysis encounter. I honestly believe I came into contact with demons that night. And just for reference, my parents did educate me a little on religion, but I was never told of demons before I experienced this. Though I don't belong to organized religions today, I do believe there are good and evil entities out there. The last few years, I've stopped trying to block this experience from my memory, and I've accepted it, and just made me want to research and study more on demonology. With my findings, you have to willingly allow demonic presence in your life and accept it. I believe that they were demons because of how they reacted to the thought of Jesus and me saying the prayer. I also believe I was at the age when they were trying to afflict me and move into my life. Whatever really happened that night, I am forever thankful for the love and light and for protecting me and my family, and I'm proud of myself for being strong enough not to accept them in. There's one quick edit here. I asked my cousin about this a few days ago. I wanted to see what she remembered from the night, or if she even remembered it ever happened to me. When I asked her to call what she remembers, she claims that she heard me call her name in the middle of the night, but she fell right back to sleep after waking up from my voice. She also remembered bits and pieces of the rest of the night from what I told them in the morning. This debunks the theories of me just being asleep, since she witnessed me speaking to her in the encounter. But demons, shadow people, aliens, and other cryptids are still up for grabs. I've also stopped reading and responding comments, blah, 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 blah. That's it.
That one's pretty creepy.
Yeah, dude. Have you ever...
6?
Do you remember when
How
you were
old
a
was
kid?
she? 6?
No, six creepy level. I don't know how old she was.
How old was she as a kid, right?
I was 8 or 9 at the time.
See, I mean, a lot of what her thinking was, an 8-year-old, is that what you would think?
I don't know, and this is an asshole thing to say, but I don't trust what kids say.
Fair enough. But
Sleeping.
a sleeping kid that could have had a bad dream that
It
thinks it's
affected them
real.
long enough that their entire life they've thought of this and it's bothered them their whole life. It's that real to them.
I guess.
Even
that's a bummer.
they said that they've stopped trying to block it out. I don't know, man.
That's a
It's
that's
kinda
a 9 on
dismissive.
the bummer scale.
Do you not remember, like, when you were a kid with the light off, like, being even a facing away from the door or away from the closet, for instance, and having a fear of what might be there in the dark?
I was always more worried
No.
about like putting my hand
Mama
over the
ain't
bed.
raised no bitch.
What's under the bed? You know, I always wonder what
I feel
you have your hand over the bed. Is somebody gonna grab it?
You never hurried up the basement stairs anywhere.
My grandma's
Not
basement
not
was
out
pretty,
of fear.
Never.
No.
Never once, like, just a quick
Yeah,
couple hop
yeah.
up
My
the stairs.
grandma's
Yeah, I do
basement
it
was
every
scary.
time I go up the basement steps, but it's not out of fear. It's because the game's loading and I got shit to do.
I'm talking about when you were a kid, man.
Oh,
Obviously
no,
not
yeah,
anymore.
no.
The dark doesn't scare
I don't
you.
know. My grandma's basement was pretty scary because it had
That's what I'm saying,
cobwebs.
man.
It was old.
Even
Real
knowing
old.
exactly what's down there, there's still just
Yeah.
that unknown. The light goes out that you can't see what's there.
Yeah, yeah. No, kids. I mean, that's natural.
You want
I
me?
just,
You want me to go
though.
get you guys a couple of skirts or what? You fucking pansies.
Oh my fucking god! I can't believe you.
Yeah. All of a sudden,
Yeah, Mr. Tough Guy over here.
Billy
That was a
Jack,
joke.
right?
All right.
That's what Ocho Man would call it.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do one more and we'll call this.
That one-
call
I
this
do.
No Till
I
Friday?
don't know if I.
This one I wanted to do because I think you secretly posted this under a different account.
Me?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Oh, I doubt it.
And so this was
don't recall
submitted by Mummified Pigeon.
That's a name he would use. Yeah.
Pigeon. Yeah. I mean.
Oh shit.
This is the imprimatur
Confirmed, it's me.
of
Now hang on.
Everett.
Just a little background here. My older brother, his daughters. This is part of the story, so this isn't my background. Even though you're my older brother, that's weird. His daughter, you have a daughter.
I
Anyway,
didn't know they don't have basements in the UK. That's interesting.
just a little background.
know that.
My older
not know
brother, his daughters, and I have been staying at our mom's for the past couple weeks.
Our
He
moms?
broke up
For
with
the past couple weeks?
our moms.
Oh, our moms.
Oh,
Our moms.
So
We've
I
been staying
thought
at our
too.
moms for the
I
past
haven't had anybody. I don't have a house. I live in the office.
He broke up with his children's mother and moved out, and I couldn't find a place at the time after my lease was up, so we both ended up there. This is probably unnecessary information. Sorry.
Yes. Omitted.
Situation has me sleeping on the living room floor and my brother and his kids on the pull-out couch. Now, the actual creepy part. Last night I had a dream, or so I thought, that I had woken up in the middle of the night. I checked my phone to see what time it was, 3:49 a.m. Then I looked over at where my brother and his kids were sleeping and saw a black void mass floating above my oldest niece.
I've seen one of those void masses.
Why do you think I said this? This is from a
What's that?
pigeon, and
What
it's
is it?
a black...
I'll go over that here in just a minute.
Okay.
So anyways, floating above my
But that
oldest
is one of
niece.
my paranormal experiences. Weird.
After a moment, it kind of turned and I could make out this thing that looked like a white face. I didn't have any glasses on, so I can't give any more details. I don't remember anything after this. The next thing I remember is waking up and seeing the lights on in the dining room and the laundry room. I checked my phone and it was 5:57 a.m. I got up to get some water and to lay back down until I had to get up for work. Anyway, just a while ago, I was sitting on the kitchen with my brother eating, and he goes, "So something really weird happened last night. I saw something that really scared me." Then he backed out and said never mind because he thought that I would think he was full of shit, and finally I got it out of him. He told me that he woke up in the middle of the night and saw a white skeletal-looking severed head with a black hood floating right above his oldest daughter. He said it was staring right at her. Then he turned to look at him and he turned his face in the direction of the fireplace before disappearing. I sleep right in front of the fireplace. This scared him so much that he turned on the lights in the dining room and the laundry room and didn't sleep the rest of the night so he could watch over his daughter. So the lights were from her brother being scared from the same incident that she didn't know he saw.
Yeah.
And she woke up later and found out that he had turned the lights on because he was
Got
so
it.
scared of
That's
the
pretty
incident.
creepy.
All right.
And if you ever had to sleep in the same room with this guy, you know he don't like the lights off into bedtime. He did.
That's categorically false.
Okay, yeah, that's not true. I made that up.
Denied.
I prefer 100%
I think Luar's
darkness.
getting tired of it. When's the next show?
Friday.
Dude,
Enough.
I've known
I think
my
he's had
brother.
enough of this one.
I've never known my brother to be afraid of anything. Like he's this
could
big,
be me.
scary-looking Jason Momoa type dude who I've seen literally pick up snakes for
What
fun.
what type dude?
Jason Momoa. So
That's his brother though.
yeah, his
not-
brother's
not
a
the
Jason Momoa
apparition.
type dude.
Oh,
right.
okay.
But
I'd be scared of
But now
that.
he won't let me turn the lights off. He's had paranormal experiences before. We both have, but this one really got him. I imagine it has to do with the safety or perceived lack thereof of his children. Some extra information. My mom
Makes
moved
sense.
into this house over the summer, and we didn't know anything about the history of it. I have a friend who grew up right next to this house, and she mentioned that she had heard it was haunted at one point, but never thought much of it. Okay, this is an update that I haven't read. It's been updated since I put this in here, so I don't know what this is going to entail. Update. When my brother told me about this last night, I didn't mention that I had also seen the same thing. He seemed pretty scared about it and didn't want to make it any worse. Anyway, a while ago, my niece's mom stopped by to see the girls. While they were playing, my brother decided to tell her about the incident, and it, of course, scared her. Not just the event itself, but because she had seen something similar before. Back when my oldest niece was a baby, so like 3 years ago, they used to have one of those video baby monitors. One night she woke up randomly and glanced over at the baby monitor to see a black mist hovering. I'm giving Everett the evil eyes for the people on the podcast can't see me. Black mist. That's his paranormal story. I'm sleeping the rest of the night because it was usually cold in her bedroom. When we got back to her bedroom, she checked the monitor again, thinking she overreacted. Maybe something was just casting a weird shadow, but found nothing that might cause it to look like a dark mist hanging over the crib. She said she never told her brother about this because, like me, she feared it would freak him out too much. So maybe it's not the house that's haunted. Maybe what if something is following my niece? I mean, her parents don't let her watch scary things, yet she has the extremely vivid nightmares that make her afraid to go to sleep. Sometimes, hell, they scare me a little when she talks about them. I don't know. End of story.
Okay, so that's the theory then. It's not the house per se, it's the child.
Right. That's following the kids.
Being dogged by this demon. Interesting. What do you think of that theory?
That's pretty creepy. It reminds me of those Paranormal Activities that Mr. Tough Guy over here is too scared to watch.
Fuck those
Rambo.
movies. Fuck those movies.
Watch that first one.
I think he could.
And
he
while
could
you're
kick
at it,
a
watch The
demon's ass.
Conjuring. The Conjuring was really good too. Have you seen
Do we
that?
have that one?
Yeah.
I've watched The Conjuring.
That's
before.
based on a true story.
What about that one where that fucking shit flows out of that kid's mouth up in the air? It's on the fucking cover of the DVD.
Reminds me of Candyman.
What's coming out of his mouth?
Like ectoplasmic ghost shit. Just float.
Ectoplasmic ghost.
Oh, man. If you guys know what fucking movie I'm talking about in the chat, let us know.
Will.
We got only a couple more minutes here. We got to finish out the show. That was a pretty creepy story. I feel like from everything I've read, and I'll give my quick paranormal story too, but April had a story too where I'll go into it more on Friday, but where she thought she had some sort of weird evil presence that was fucking with her at night for a couple years. And
April?
My wife.
Oh, your wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Not the April on our...
No. No, that's the same April, the one that's in the chat.
Oh,
April Hicks. Yeah.
I should have known.
Yeah, that'd be like the same last
Yeah,
name.
with the same last
Yeah,
name. I thought it was a
coincidence?
coincidence.
But here's the quick version of my story. One night, my wife and I were driving together by ourselves down the road over by SIUE, going past the soccer fields. You know where those are over there?
Yeah.
So I don't remember what time of night it was. It was somewhere between fucking 10 a.m. and 2 a.m. The story's 5 years old at this point.
Haunting in Connecticut, that's what it is. Sorry, go ahead.
So anyway, we're driving down the soccer field roads, past the field somewhere down that road. And out of nowhere, we both see it. There's this weird wisp of black void that comes off the left side of the road across and stops in front of the car, probably 50 feet in front of the car. Now, I would describe it as like a fog, a black fog, but as more of a void. Light didn't reflect off of it. It just kind of sat there in this weird
Black
wispiness.
body.
Just a black wispiness, and then took off to the other side of the road. We both saw the exact same thing. It was not insects, because when you see a group of flies from a distance, they kind of look like a cloud. This was solid. Like, it wasn't like partially see-through. You could see what's behind it. It was no seeing through it. It was black as fucking void. Like, it sucked light in, and then it was gone.
It's a black body, yeah.
Is that a paranormal thing that you've heard of before?
No, but it's a theoretical
Fair
body that absorbs all light and emits none.
That's pretty much what it was, and it was gone. That's basically my only real paranormal experience.
But it was kind of like a cloud. Is that what you're saying? When you say mist.
A wisp.
A wisp.
A will-o'-the-wisp, if you will. That's a thing. I don't know.
Right.
That's my story. It was pretty weird. To this day, I don't know exactly what I saw. I can't explain it.
But his said now he had this black, but it was a white.
That's way different. His is way different.
No, I was just making a joke about it being him.
No, but in the story, the guy says it's a black, but
well,
white
yeah.
something.
So they saw two different things, but it was the same like like the same incident, but they saw two different things. She saw a black mist, and he saw a white like skeletal head severed. So.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to establish here again. I mean, if we're talking about the hereafter and spirits, and ghosts and demon has been used as a term. Demon to me means something
malevolent.
Obvious. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes. Are all these spirits malevolent? I don't know.
At least the ones that are
Grandpa's hugging.
I don't want to hear the story about the ghost that comes around and fucking puts my underwear away for me or whatever. You know what I mean? The nice ghost.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, wouldn't you think those?
Nobody cares. Like, I must
But
have
if
put
it's
my
your-
socks away. I don't remember doing it. Nobody cares about the nice
But
ghost.
what's the point of that? To haunting a house? Get the hell out of my house.
Yeah,
why would they?
I don't know.
I would think if like I said, if your loved
If
one,
I knew
Grandpa
that-
came back, he'd want to help his.
Maybe.
Well,
I
tell
mean,
him.
you don't know what your
Tell 'em-
existence is like in after
I
your
don't
physical.
either.
We don't know
I'm
what
trying
it
to make
means
sense
to
of
exist.
this. Right.
You can't. That's the problem. I could kill you right
But why
now.
would
and
they
you
want
probably
to come
wouldn't know.
back and kill us or do us harm?
What if these spirits are the same type of thing that our consciousness is made up with? And just stick with me here. That have never made it or were worthy enough to have a human existence. So these
So
are
they're not even. They didn't make it as far as living beings.
right. So say
as
what we are as conscious beings.
Yeah.
Our consciousness existed before our body in the same way that these demons existed. But these demons are the same as us, but they never were worthy or were too mean to have a physical existence.
Right, or it could be maybe like
And
an
they're pissed
aborted,
at us.
an aborted child. I'd be
That's
pissed.
exactly what I was thinking, Armand.
That'd be kind of cool.
It could
That's
be
weird
as a
because that's
script.
exactly what I was thinking.
We don't know what we are. We don't know what a demon could be. We have at the end of the day no clue what existence is on a visceral level, what consciousness means, and how it exists past the human form.
See
So
what Jordan put?
what do you put?
The story in Key West where a haunted hotel has ghost maids on the 5th floor to clean the rooms, and actual maids only have to clean once a week. Boy, that's nice.
That sounds like a advertising thing to me.
I like it. But see, that makes more sense
Let
to
me
me.
guess, you
know,
manage the
you're
hotel.
a dead
All right.
maid. You come back and, like, I'd be a dead podiatrist and come back and do, clip people's toenails in their,
That'd be pretty
in their
nice. of you.
sleep.
That'd be pretty
You
cool.
know,
In fact,
that's what I do. It's
if you
my
died
job.
soon, come visit me because I hate doing my toenails. I do them every week and it's fucking horrible. Anyway, that's all we got for today. We're gonna come back Friday, do the same show again.
Hey, I'm going to walk in, too. The hell with Ocho,
yeah,
man.
well, yeah, fuck him. Do what you got to do.
Loir's on his team. I'm very disappointed in Loir.
Yeah, I mean, opinions vary.
Team Ocho, man.
Opinions vary. Again, October 20th, that Saturday, please contact us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com. Give us a little bit about your story, what your contact information is. I'm working on the list now, and I'll get a hold of you as soon as possible to kind of fill out what the time slots are going to look like. I do know one thing. You'll have to be on the YouTube broadcast that day. It'll be Saturday, again, October 20th, 3 p.m. Central Time. So be there to get your call-in done. Otherwise, send us an email. Leave us a voicemail. Go to surrealtalkpodcast.com. On the right-hand side of the page, you'll find the little voicemail applet. Other than that, that's it. All we got for today. We'll catch you guys on Friday. Remember to check out yoradio.com for the best in online streaming radio and lineupmedia.fm for some great podcasts. You guys got anything else?
Yeah. No, nothing.
All right, great.
Zero.
Catch you guys Friday.
All right. So long, everybody.
Amy, we don't know what time on Friday yet.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. That
Central.
time. That time. Central.
She's in
3 p.m.
She's
Central.
+6, so it'd be 9 o'clock her time.
9 o'clock your time. I gotta do a call right now, so I don't have time to chat on the YouTube. I gotta go.
You gotta go do call. All right, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We will catch you Friday.
Bye.
Hasta later.
Bye.